So hi, I'm Timothée Corchia, and I recently started my PhD in the CNRM at Toulouse. I'm working with Jean-Christophe Calvet and Monsieur Rodriguez Fernandez on the contribution of machine learning for the integration of satellite observation in a global model of soil plant system. And my PhD is funded by Météo France and the CNES. So I'm gonna start to talk about the land data assimilation system LDASMOND that we have at CNRM that works with a simplified extended Kalman filter to assimilate satellite products into ISBA, our land surface model. As of right now, it can assimilate two data products, the leaf area index from Copernicus and the surface soil moisture from ASCAT. And these two products are relatively easy to assimilate because they have models equivalent from ISBA. ISBA can simulate the leaf area index, and it can simulate different soil moisture layers, and you can use the upper layer to use it. So these two products are level 2 products, and as we saw in the previous presentations, they are derived from level 1 products such as rather backscatter coefficients or brightness temperatures, and the assimilation of these two products could be interesting because during the processing from level 1 to level 2 products, some useful information on the vegetation can be lost. So we'd like to assimilate these products, but we don't have a model equivalent. So the objective of my PhD is to develop an observation operator based on neural networks for the assimilation of these level 1 products. So the observation operator is based on neural networks, and they have two phases. First, the learning phase, where we're gonna train our neural networks with ISBA outputs, with observation data and physiographical data from the land cover databases. When we train our model to predict these level 1 products, satellite products, and then we're gonna integrate. I'm gonna integrate this observation operator inside the LDASMOND code. So to use these new satellite products, model satellite products as model equivalents, and analyze the data. So to begin with, we started to interest ourselves in the southwest of France region and on the assimilation of ASCAT sigma naught, as the previous presentation. We interested ourselves in this region because there is a in situ measurement station network called SMOSMania, with the one we can do validation of our data. We used two configurations for our neural networks. First, the global configuration, where we trained our neural networks on all the grid cells of the domain, and we have one observation operator for the whole domain of study. And the second configuration is the local configuration. So we have one neural network per grid cell in our domain of study, and one observation operator. So this configuration would be very costly in computing time, but it allowed us to test if implementing the observation operator into LDASMOND could be done for some grid cells, the grid cells that are next to the stations of in situ measurements. So here are the neural networks that we use in a local configuration. So one neural network per station. We chose to use simple multi-layer perceptrons because for implementing them into LDASMOND, it's easier. We did k-fold cross-validation to select the best architecture. We ended up with a simple one hidden layer of 40 neurons. And we use the ReLU activation function for our neurons. And as inputs, we use in the local configuration, we use the surface soil moisture, the soil temperature, and the interception reservoir from ISBA, and the leaf area index from Copernicus observed. We tried it with the leaf area index from ISBA, but didn't get very good results. And that's because leaf area index from ISBA has trouble modeling high agricultural areas because it doesn't take into account the crop rotation cycles. So we chose to go with the observed. And as output, we started by testing on the radar backscatter coefficient from ASCAT. So here are some correlations and root mean square deviations between the neural network simulated sigma naught and the observation. And we can see that we have pretty good results. Almost all correlations are above 0.7, and the root mean square deviations are pretty low, knowing that the observation error for ASCAT sigma naught is around 0.33 decibels. And then we tested, we implemented the neural networks into LDAS and tested the assimilation. And here is an example for the assimilation of sigma naught using our observation operator. This is the leaf area index times series for the Condon station in the southwest of France. In blue, we have the open loop leaf area index, so without simulation. In orange, the observed leaf area index, and in red, the leaf area index with assimilation analyzed using our neural network. We can see that there is an improvement between the open loop and the assimilation leaf area indexes, and are way closer to the observations. So we applied this method to all the stations, and we got an improvement on almost all the stations. Here are the results. And we got a big improvement in the stations that are based in agricultural areas. So then we tested the global configuration for the observation operator. We kept the same inputs, except we added some physiographic data from the EcoClimap database. And this data contained the information on the sand, clay, and organic content percentages in each cell, and the different land cover patches. We changed a bit the architecture we changed it to one layer of 150 neurons and kept the same activation function. And this time we tested the neural networks on we tested two neural networks, one to predict the sigma naught of ASCAT, and the second one to predict the brightness temperatures from SMOS. So here are the performances of the two neural networks. We got for predicting sigma naught, we got very good results with a correlation of 0.85 and a lower MSD. For SMOS, we trained our neural network using the vertical polarization and one incidence angle, a 37-degree incidence angle, knowing that SMOS has the product in the SMOS product, there are the two polarization, vertical and horizontal, and multiple angles. And we got some good correlations, but a pretty high root mean square deviation. So maybe we're thinking that using multiple polarization and multiple angles to train our neural network could help us with reducing this MSD. Sadly, we haven't done the assimilation using the global neural network. We're implementing it, so I can't show you the results yet, but maybe next time. Finally, we tested the local assimilation of sigma naught in the USA. We tested them on some stations of the US CRN measurement station network. And we got the neural networks had worse performances than in the southwest of France. We have correlations that are mostly under 0.7 and pretty high RMSD. And we're still trying to figure why this is happening. We tested the assimilation also, and we still have an improvement. So still in blue, the open loop, in red, the assimilation, and in orange, the observation. And we have an improvement overall, but the results are very noisy. This is for the station in Nebraska. Yes, maybe we're thinking that maybe the observation error is not well characterized for ASCAT in the USA, or maybe there is problem with the interferences. So we're still looking into it. So to conclude, we successfully implemented the local neural network observation operator for the assimilation of ASCAT sigma naught into LDAS mode, and it leads to an improvement of our analyzed variables. We tested the global neural network configuration. We trained it, and it gives pretty good results, and we're waiting to implement it we're working into implementing it into LDAS mode. And we saw that the observation operator for using sigma naught is better performing in southwestern France than in the USA. And for the perspective, we're now currently working on the assimilation of using the global configuration. I like to test other brightness temperature products from SMOS to have maybe a better RMSD. We'd love to try the combined assimilation of both the brightness temperatures and the sigma naught at the same time. Try to understand why there is a difference in performance between the USA and the southwest of France. And once we have a working protocol to integrate these observation operators, we'd like to test them on other satellite products, such as the MODIS albedo, so to try to assimilate it. So that's it, and thank you very much.